Why are there not more people talking about the best times to play Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3? We've got the scoop right here. Timing can make all the difference in your gaming experience. Think about it. Ever notice how some sessions feel smoother than others? That's not a coincidence. First, let's talk about weekdays versus weekends. On weekdays, you're more likely to run into serious gamers in the evenings, around 6 to 10 p.m. They're logging in after school or work, ready to blow off some steam. If you want a challenge, this is your window. But if you're looking for a more relaxed game, try early mornings or late nights. Fewer players mean less competition, and you can practice your skills without constant pressure. Weekends are a different beast. You'll find more players online at all hours, so it's a mixed bag. However, aim for late afternoons to evenings if you want to match up with a variety of players. Now, a pro tip, keep an eye on double XP weekends and special events. These bring out both casual and hardcore gamers, making for an intense, action-packed experience. So there you have it. Experiment with different times and see what works best for you. Remember, it's all about having fun and leveling up your skills. Happy gaming.
But what if you just play games to have fun? How do you obtain the goal of having fun, especially when the thought of work the next day looms over you like an anvil on a rope? For years, sadly, I've had so many days where I try to force myself to enjoy something, and most of the time it's fruitless. I just can't stop thinking about work even though there's nothing I can control. A very modern question that I even find myself looking up is, how do I enjoy video games again? I mean, hell, this channel is the spawn of insecurity that I had playing video games while unemployed. This channel became a way for video games to be productive. But they don't need to be productive. It's literally just an entertainment medium. Granted, the greatest entertainment medium of all time, but I digress. Think of playing video games like your parents and Facebook. It's supposed to just be a way to relax and unwind, but when we have such tight schedules, we find ourselves trying to get the absolute most out of our time gaming. And this is where our biggest problem lies: playing games efficiently. What I mean by playing games quote unquote efficiently is that whenever you boot up your current game, you tend to look up your builds, the best dialogue choices, how to finish puzzles, how to beat bosses, or do an exploit for more money, all in the name of wanting to maximize your free time. You also start to skip dialogue, you don't read the notes or journals even though they add a lot to the atmosphere, and sometimes you just install a bunch of mods that alter the game completely. The gaming field has changed a lot with easily accessible internet. And honestly, I think that can ruin your experience in a game. Now, these solutions I'm going to provide aren't the solutions to all your problems, but think of it as advice from another pair of eyes. And don't be afraid to say to yourself, well, this advice really isn't for me. Not all advice is for everyone, but hear me out. I think the true way to play a game is to treat it like you're playing it 15 years ago. Let's dig up an old memory of yours, or not if you didn't experience this, but bear with us, rememberers. 10 to 15 years ago, you walk into a GameStop and you bolt it right towards your console section. You start perusing games with the intent to purchase one, and you stumble across a game with some really cool box art and a sick name. For me, when I was a kid, that was like Killzone and Resistance. I had no idea what these games were about, but damn, did that box art look sick. You start looking at the back of the box to get any tiny semblance of what the gameplay might actually look like, but you're not really worried about mechanics, genre, characters, or hell, even politics. But it's the graphics that sell you on that game. You make the purchase, and on the car ride home, you rip up that plastic wrap, get that new game smell, and open up that bad boy. Oh my god. The car ride home on those days could not be any longer, I swear. The whole way, you're just reading the manual and looking at all the pictures in it, and then you finally get home, and you start playing. A few hours, or maybe even a couple days into playing the game, you come across a puzzle A puzzle so hard for your little tiny brain that you get stuck on it for like over an hour. Now, today, people get stuck on a puzzle for 5 minutes and then they just look up the answer. I was guilty of this like 3 days ago playing The Witcher 3. I just didn't feel like doing a puzzle. But back then, you just had to figure it out yourself. You had to do everything in the game yourself. You had to gear up yourself. Dialogue options were completely your choice, and negative outcomes you just had to deal with. Bosses that you were stuck on, you just had to learn and get better. There was no worry of the optimal build, reading online guides, watching walkthroughs, etc. I think, honestly, this is the true way to play video games. Sure, you might feel big and strong playing a meta build you looked up for your single player RPG, but it just trivializes a lot of the game. Now, I know that might seem obvious to some people, but when you value your free time as much as I do, you can naturally fall into the habit of looking up your problems. Here's what you gotta start doing. The next time you start up a new game, just start it with the goal of not looking up a single thing. Play through the whole game if you enjoy it, and I promise you, every victory, puzzle solve, build that you come up with yourself, and dialogue choice that ends well will all feel so much more rewarding. This is the way developers want you to play the game. I recently played Timberborn for the first time. I am absolute dog water at city builders and strategy games for some reason, so in order to enjoy this one, I set the difficulty to the easiest and I worked on small little goals. Slowly, through trial and error, I learned how to actually play the game, but more importantly, I enjoyed my entire journey because I just took my time with it. I didn't look anything up, and I'm prouder than ever that my virtual beavers get to have a nice life. If I were to watch a 1 hour long video on Timberborn, things I wish I knew before playing the game, I think my experience would just be dampened. Although I will say the worst part is when the game isn't clear enough on what to do next, so you just end up like backtracking for hours. I think nobody should have to go through that, and you probably should just look it up by then, but you never know when it's just like a weird glitch preventing you from progressing. But try your best to move on without looking it up first. Like I said, just play games the way the developers want you to. Now, I will say that doesn't make the thought of work the next day go away magically. There's no solution to that. But there is a small remedy that I frequently use. If you feel guilty for playing video games during your free time, then you should do something productive. Do something productive. Go to the gym, clean something in the house, work on a project, apply for a better job, make a better resume. Just do something productive. And after that, reward yourself by playing a video game. An amazing quote I read once goes something kind of like this. One of the few ways to relieve anxiety is with action. In this case, being unproductive might be why you feel anxious playing video games. So go be productive, even for just a little bit, and reward yourself with video games. You will have a much healthier relationship with your games if you do both of these, in my opinion. So that's it. That's my tip for all of you in the same boat as me or anyone. Play a game like you're a kid again, and if you have to, just make video games a reward for a hard day's work. That's really all I got. This was just a thought that I've been having for a while, and after testing it myself, I just felt that I should share my experience with you guys. So subscribe or you'll be forced to lose 2 hours of progress on your game because the game crashed. Bye.